Okay, ready for the next step. Are you learning anything? Jeez. I didn't think we were going to have to. I forgot about the 12 gauge wire and the 14 gauge wire and the 3 circuits and everything else going on. I see I got to make a loop in that one. The ground wire I want to reattach to this screw. I can't just plug it into the back like I can the other wires. And you see on this, these screws on the side, I can just tighten them up. It's not going to hurt anything. It might give me a little bit of extra room in case there's a wire pushed in tight there. Those have nothing to do with the holes in the back. Okay, loosen up my ground wire screw a little bit, and then I have to put a curly Q in this ground, and I don't have much room here, do I? Okay, so I take the hole in my ground, in my wire cutters. I'm going to put that in and let it extend about 1/8 of an inch or so. Turn it up and let go of it, and I've got a loop. You see that loop there that I just made? Right there. See? Got that loop now, and now the loop's going to go around that. And I like to make the loop going the same direction as the screw that I'm going to tighten. And before they had it just like that, and they tried to tighten it down, and this thing slid out and was barely on there. So another good thing of taking it out. So I just take this and take the loop and pinch it together with the end of my wire strippers, that little end. And that keeps it on there from falling off. Now I can tighten it like that. Okay. Now I can flip it up, make sure that I've got top to top, which I do. And now I can take the holes and take my wire, and I can push this sideways. I don't have much room here, do I? Push that back in there, in the back. Take that one, push it into the back. Okay, looks fine. And now I can get that pushed back into the box. I'm going to have to kind of put a little S dealy bob in it and figure out how the ground wire is going to be kind of pushed back in there. And I'll have to kind of work on my wire a little bit because it's short. I've got to strategically get it back into the box and pushed in there. Okay, there. Looks like it's gonna go. All right, like that. That looks pretty good. It's pretty stiff back there, so I want to look at my wires and see what's holding it up, if anything. See if I can rearrange the wire, the ground wire, just a little bit. So when I push it up, I've got a little less pressure on the box. Okay. And that looks pretty good. This is gonna go back in. That's gonna go back in. Now I got this to deal with over here. Look at that. Getting there. Let's do the next one. Okay. Ready for this? I'm gonna cut this ground wire off just a little, and it's going on this screw here. Make sure the screw's out far enough. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just put this in here, let it stick. I got to let it stick out a little bit before I turn it, because that will allow me enough of a loop for that. Once I put it on here, I've got enough to pinch this on, and then I can tighten that up. Okay. Once I have it like that, I just take that and flip it up like that, and I've got enough. This is flexible enough that I can zigzag it in there. I look, and that's sure enough, it's up at the top. Now I can take this and put it sideways. And remember, on one of these, it was loose at the top. And see, it's not sticking. Ah, that's a shame. That tells me, what does that tell me? It tells me I'm going to use these side screws for both of them. Okay, I'm just going to do it for both of them, which now means I'm going to have to strip these wires, because the end of this before was sticking into the back. Now it's going to go on the side, which means I have to strip this. I usually make that about 1 inch or so. And see, I can cut this one about the same length. That still gives me just barely enough room to get it in the box. I could have made that one a little bit longer if I wanted to, but it'll be all right. Now I can strip this one back. And if you don't think it's enough, hold it on the next one, and it looks like I got to go further. And I look at it again, and just a hair more even. Okay. And like I said, make those about 1 inch or 7/8 or so. And now I got to put a loop in those, and I do it just the same way. I just take that in there, let it stick out a little bit, and turn it up, pull it off. Let it stick out about 1/8, turn it up, pull it off. If you do it too much, you can put this back in and kind of lift it off. But I got them just about right. You see those there? Okay, and it's important that you get them. When you put them on these screws, you want them the same direction as the screw's going to tighten, which I've done. Okay. So now I'm going to put it on sideways, and you want to make sure that these screws are out all the way. And there's a definite little area where it feels like you can't unscrew it anymore, and that's enough. If you unscrew it harder and harder, you can take the screw all the way out, but we don't want to do that. I put it on there kind of sideways, kind of bend the wire a little bit, put it in sideways. Let's see here, come on. And then I can pull it, and then I can swivel it straight. I kind of hold on to that, get my cutter, my tip in there, and try to bend the tip down. Sometimes it's kind of tricky to do. Okay, now I got it over the screw. Now I can tighten it up. And that is always going to be a good connection. That is never coming off. So I did that, I just pushed it on. That's why you got to have the tab long enough so that you can crimp the tip of it down before you tighten up the screw. And I'm kind of pulling on it with my fingers, the pressure that way as I'm tightening. Boom. There's that one. Now all I've got to do is figure out how I'm going to get these wires in there. And I kind of put an S in it. And that way as I push it in there, it all folds up against itself. Now see that one there? That one bent down pretty good. Looks like I've got to kind of finagle that up just a hair. That looks pretty good right there. And I can push on those wires because they're a little bit more pliable, because they're more flexible, because this is the 14 gauge wire, this is the 12 gauge wire. See there? We're almost ready to put these screws back in. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos. And what am I going to talk about next time? What am I going to show you next time? Well, you'll just have to keep watching my videos to find out.